What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. It is Monday. It's a new week, and we are back live on YouTube and on Instagram. Do me a favor, hit that like button, smack it, lay the smack down on like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we can get the subscribers up and a message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, it is a talk show, so you can call in at any point during the show by calling 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we can argue, we can agree, we can fellowship, we can whatever. I'm here for it all in the name of Jesus. If for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you'd like to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the description, or go directly to YouTube, hit the super chat button in the live chat, and send your question or comments there. I'll read them live on air. And as fast as they come in, I'm reading them for the most part, right? So appreciate the support, appreciate the super chats, and your input on those as well, on the topics at hand. But shout out to the snake bit on YouTube. Shout out to the Lion's Den on IG. We got to get the IG chat popping. But we're working on our way. We're getting there. One day and one step at a time. Shout out to the IG chat, to the peeps that are just joining in right now. What's up, y'all? Appreciate it. We got some stuff we're going to get into. It is Pride Month. It is the month that is dedicated to pride. And I want to shine some light on the topic. That's the month that the homosexuals deemed their month, June, right? Pride Month. And I guess they don't own it, right? Because there's other things that go on during the month. But I guess it's the same thing as the other months that, people celebrate. So it's the month that they celebrate. And I wanted to shine some light on the topic at hand. Homosexuality, heterosexuality. I think it's an interesting topic. Matter of fact, doesn't get discussed at all. And I have some opinions about it that I want to share with the world. And like I always say, don't believe nothing I say. Don't believe nothing I say. Think for yourself and know for yourself, right? Because, hey, I can always be wrong. So think for yourself and know for yourself and come up with your own conclusions. Draw your own conclusion. I'm just speaking on what I believe to be true. So with that being said, let's get to it. So, I'm gonna just dive right in. There's no such thing, in my opinion, as gay or straight, right? I think these are things that we've used over time to develop language to communicate with each other. But even that, I think we've taken it too far. I don't even think that part was necessary. Because what gay and straight are just identities of sexuality. And because of these identities, we've taken the joke too far. And we identify with these things. So I guess at some point, when the term heterosexual or homosexual came about, it was a way for language purposes to identify a specific group, right? And that's all, right? It was just for language purposes. Like, oh, okay, well, those people who, do this, they're called this. And those people who do that, they're called that. But not for like personal identity, right? Not as an identity as of who you are. And I think that we've like identified with language in the wrong way. And I feel like, for one, the word gay wasn't always around. That's a newer term, because way back in the day, the word gay was a term of like happiness. It was like a word for happiness. I think in the dictionary, I think that's still what it is. Maybe not. maybe they changed it, but there were songs where they used the word gay in it, and they were referring to happiness. So it wasn't until later, right, in newer times, that the word, the label gay became, I guess, adopted by the homosexual community, and they now use the word gay. But I think that was a big mistake. I'm gonna tell you why. Hear me out. Before your hearts and your minds and your ears are closed off, hear me out first. Don't judge me yet. Hear me out. Hear what I have to say with an open heart. Amazing Asia with the donut says, hey, you need to make a shirt that says, hey, I may be wrong. I'd buy it. Nice. That's a great idea, Amazing Asia. I might have to get that going. I might have some merch dropping soon. Hake has it. JLP has it. I think we might have to start making some merch. So, great idea, Amazing Asia. Jasmine says, stop saying gay. I have to make my point, Jasmine. So, King Wesley, queer meant weird, gay old time from the Flintstones. But, yeah, I think the word gay was a mistake, because what it's doing, and matter of fact, let's just take it a little bit deeper. Hear me out. I think it was actually a setup. So whoever wanted to adopt the term gay and give it to the homosexual community was a setup. And even to call the homosexual community all this stuff, right? But we're using language. It was a setup because, why was it a setup is the question. It was a setup because it now makes you identify with your sexuality, instead of realizing all people should overcome sexuality, right? It made people, instead of looking for the answer of how to overcome this thing that I'm doing, whether it be with men or men, or men and women, right? Whether it be same sex or opposite sex, instead of identifying as this is right, or something that I should be doing, we started identifying with these labels instead of realizing that we should be overcoming sexuality, right? And when the term gay came about, now it became this big thing, right? To where now it's gay is who they are. And I don't believe that. And I feel like that's where the problem comes in, because now, and it's really all coming from the enemy, right? The evil one trapping people to make them not truly be free, right? To keep them in bondage to these things by making them identify with something that's not even really them, straight or gay. So what happens is now they identify with gay, and then now you start to think that that's who you are. That's like who you are. The things that you do, the acts that you commit, the things that you do with each other, you start to think that, well, this is just who I am. So now I'm a part of this community. And what that does, now it keeps you there. You're stuck because you think that's who you are. It's not true. It's what you do. And even when it comes to men and women together, right? Even in marriage, even when you get married, right? You're still supposed to eventually overcome sexuality. Because it's going to sound controversial, right? But it's what I believe to be true. I could be wrong. Is that even when it comes to in marriage, sex is still a fallen act, right? Doesn't mean we got to judge ourselves for it. You know, we got to make babies, right? So there's like a proper, I guess, right? But it's not like right or wrong, okay? But the point is that like eventually we're supposed to overcome sexuality as well, even for the heterosexuals. So we need to stop identifying and really get to know who we really are. And that's in Christ Jesus. The Spirit of God within, right? Our spirit, who we really are. Really get to know who we really are, and then we'll start to see that these things aren't who we are. And it doesn't mean like we're still not human, right? It doesn't mean that we still don't struggle, you know, with certain things, or we're still trying to make sense of it, and we still don't do things, and we're not into different things. It's not about that, right? It's about recognizing the truth, recognizing the light. And I think oftentimes, and then I'm going to get some calls in a second here, 888-775-3773. Oftentimes why it's so easy for us to pick up any identity, whatever it is because we don't know how to get to the alternative. And what's the alternative? Perfect peace, right? That has no desire of anything. No desire of sex, drugs, shortcuts, right? Nobody knows how to get the perfect peace, right? For the most part. Some people do, but not everybody does. So instead, we pick up the alternatives, right? The easy things. Because that's all we've been taught. That's all we've been taught. And those things bring this little satisfaction that we also know deep down that's not bringing us peace, but it brings us this satisfaction, and we identify with it and we hold on to it because it's our only sense of survival, our only sense of feel good. The closest thing we get to, closest thing we can get to perfect peace. So we identify with it. But it's not the real deal. And the only way we're going to get to the real deal is if we start being honest about it. You know what I mean? And we stop being in denial. That's the only way. And is it going to happen like this for you? Maybe not. It's not happening like that for me. To where snap your fingers, perfect peace. No. But it starts with honesty. You gotta be honest with yourself and transparent. I'm not saying you gotta go tell the world about it, right? I'm also saying not have to go tell the world about it. But I'm saying you gotta be honest with yourself, because then is when God can shine the light on it and set you free. But he has to do it. God does the setting free. When, where, and how is beyond me. Can't give you a time, can't give you a date or a location. But I can tell you that when you give it to him and when you are honest, he does begin to set you free. And that one I can tell you for sure. That one's happening in my life for a fact. And I'm far from perfect. I am perfect. I know I come up here and I talk about things and it seemed like I don't know, like I'm so innocent. I still got my things too, but the point is that I'm honest about it. And God started to free me up because I'm not in denial about it. So he's helped me see more, helped me grow, helped me learn. And then slowly over time, certain things have been falling away over these years I've been, working on myself. So the point is, I don't care, you're gay, you're straight, you're blue, purple, yellow, green, or you're plus, queer, all kinds of different titles. Doesn't matter. It's not who you are, period. So have your language, you can talk about it, you can do your conversations, and you can go enjoy yourself. Go live your life. Go live your life. If you want to, accept that, which is fine, it has none. Listen. If you accept it, that's fine with you. That's fine. I accept my life, right? That someone may disagree with. If you want to accept it, fine. I have no problem with you. As a matter of fact, I've had, I was in a dance community for a very long time. A lot of gays in there. Had a lot of gay friends that identified as gay, right? They always respected me. I always respected them. There's never been no problem. It's still been the same to this day. But sometimes people think that I'm a homophobic or something. And if they knew my life, they would know that that's not who I am. I just speak on what I believe to be true. But yeah, if you want to go do your stuff, that's fine. Go do it. But just still be honest about what's going on. Still be honest. Don't try to pretend that it's like all these different things. Just be real. So before I get to calls, I have a clip. C-Sal says, what's a dance community? So I was in a dance industry / community. So the dance industry, just really quick, is I was signed to a dance agency, and they send you out on auditions. So it's just like everything else, like for actors, same type of system and structure. Send you out on auditions, music videos, tours with artists, whatever, different things. You go out on auditions and then blah, blah, blah. But also there's, you do performances and all that stuff. So I was all in that world, the dance world. And in there, there's a lot of straight people and there's a lot of, gays as well. There's straight and gays. And early on in my career when I was doing that, I was on a team, a bunch of different teams. I was on 5, 6 different teams. And on the teams, there's a bunch of people, 50, sometimes less, 10. And I was on a team of 50. So there was a lot of different people, all kinds of races, ethnicity, backgrounds, homosexual, heterosexual, whatever. And I was friends with everybody, right? And some of my greatest friends too were homosexual. And why were they my greatest friends, you ask? It ain't had nothing to do with their sexuality. Because I was always me, and they were always them. I like what I like. And I would talk to them about the things that I was into. And they'd be like, ha, we would joke around. But there was always respect there. Because it's, we're connecting off of who we are, not off of what we're into. And I feel like that's the problem. Once we start getting into the judgment of what we're into and what people are into, then we start fighting. It's silly. But anyway, so that's what the dance industry is. And the dance industry, you know, a lot of crazy stuff goes on. Because dancers are not respected. They're like seen as just like props. It's another reason why I had to get out of there too. I wasn't really into that. They just use dancers up to do whatever they want. Like artists just need dancers just to make their things look good. So they'll just have dancers dressing crazy, acting crazy, doing crazy things. And I just couldn't be a part of that. So that's why I left. But yeah, that's how that goes. But anyway. Someone said, so it's a gay community. It's not a gay community. Okay. Joel gets defensive for the dancers. What, Mr. Pink? Mr. Pink, I don't know what you mean here, but I hope that it's not inappropriate, because it is. I'm going to have C-Sal put you on timeout. Keep it clean. Joel caught the dance demon vapors. Anyway, so I was on my Instagram. I'm going to play you guys a clip. Chat going crazy. What's IG talking about? Amen. On the thoughts of sexuality, I had to call in. We got some callers. Callers, I'm about to get to you right now. Give me a second. I just got to get to this clip, because this clip is so like important to my point. Not really, but really. I was in traffic yesterday because the Pride Parade was by my where I live, right? The Pride Parade was going on by where I live. Mind you, they didn't give no warning. Outside of like the schedule that they do every year, they didn't give any warning to the residents in the area, right? Like that we're gonna be blocking off the whole street here at this time. Even if we forgot, they didn't give us a reminder or notice, right? And so I was on my way to church because the Pride Parade was on a Sunday. And I was on my way to church, and I was driving. I was stuck in traffic. I was like, what's going on here? The whole street is blocked off. I couldn't go down my streets. I had to go way out the way to go around the town to go to church. And I found out it was a Pride Parade. And I'm in traffic. And I made some comments, right? Wasn't crazy. Well, you can make your decision. But here's that video of me in traffic. Here we go. Pride got all the streets blocked off. Listen, this is my thing. If you want to do your thing, do your thing. But pride at home. How about that? How about you pride at home? You know what I mean? Because I'm just trying to get to where I need to go. And ain't no pride in that. So I made that little clip right there. Look, nothing crazy. I ain't call nobody out. And if I'm missing something, let me know I'm wrong. Because the comments went crazy. I got attacked. When I tell you that they came after me. And I was trying to think, I was like, what did I say? You know what I mean? I just said, pride at home because I got somewhere to be and you're making me late. You know what I mean? I even said, like, if you want to do what you want to do what you want to do. But pride at home so I can get to where I need to go. That's all I said. And they came after you, boy. They were not playing with me. And I was thinking like, dang, I didn't even say nothing. Imagine if I like was saying something. Imagine if I was actually mean and hateful. But they sure treated me like I was. But that's the mean and hateful in them that's being defensive. So I was just thinking how like, wow, like the identity is so deep with these things. And people are really just miserable. All people until they overcome, right? Just miserable. So they have to defend, they have to protect all these things, but it's not my fault. It's because you're identifying with something that is not even who you really are. So you got to protect it. Right? The problem is not me, which I didn't even say anything, but, or anybody who said something like is actually, disrespectful or hateful. The problem is how you respond to it. So that's what I had to say about that. I didn't even say nothing. Lord have mercy. Meanwhile, all my other video, I got unfollowed and everything. Meanwhile, all my other video talks about that God loves all people, all the nice things. But as soon as I just say pride at home is a wrap. Anyway, let me get to some calls. Let me get to JC. JC out of Arkansas. Welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, Joel? First of all, Lions Den, we don't pretend. The snake pit, they just talk. Anyways, how are you?
All is well. How's it going?
I am pissed. Not pissed, but I was not planning on calling in today. I was just going to listen because I already done scared Zenny off. I done already had to run him off last week. But you brought up this conversation, and you were the first person that I let people know that I had a musical theater degree. And so the bestie one had to call in to give my thoughts. And I'm very sure the chat hearing my voice is going crazy right now with a little messy comment.
It's all good. Yeah, say what you had to say.
Okay, so you said some things like with you being a part of the dance community, you had different people and such. Were you ever accused or assumed that you were a part of my Zesty community?
Never. And I even went to a couple, because I had some friends in my inner circle, and one time I was in my probably 19, maybe 20, and they asked me to go to a club with them. I had no experience. I was let's just go. So I went. And it was a little alarming. I was definitely out of my element, for sure.
Oh, I go to one every weekend. It's fun. The Zesties know how to party. I go to one every weekend.
And maybe so, but I went in there and I was just out of place to where but also if I'm walking in there, I guess I'm saying that, I'm in here. I'm with you. And so they were trying to flirt and be aggressive, and I was like, okay, I can't come back to this place. Yeah,
but you're also a straight conservative man. You obviously that's the place you should never go to. You're very straight and conservative. So
well, then back then, 18, 19, I wasn't as into being conservatism. Believe. All these things.
Celebrate pride at home.
Right.
Celebrate pride at home. Let people be free. Let people live, Joey.
But here's the problem, though, JC, about that is that, I don't have a problem with people living, but the thing that comes to me is that, it's almost in the vein of, trying to boast and like shove it in everybody's faces that I'm gay, I fantasize this, and you're gonna accept it. And I don't like the energy of that. You know what I mean? It's like, block off all these streets for what?
Well, first, okay, so there's a couple things. I'll keep it on the zesty side today, even though I'm very strong in my black pride too. We know that.
Right.
But back in the olden days, they used to consider homosexuality as a mental illness, and I know that's going to make a lot of them chatters happy that I just said that. Thankfully, it's not. And then Pride, what the beautiful Marsha P. Johnson did in the 60s, was standing up for just her living, and people were trying to stop her from living the way she wanted to, and she threw a rock inside that building, and that's where Pride started. Mainly, that's why we do that in June so much. It's a beautiful thing to let us live freely, and it's not about like anything sexual or anything, because whatever happens in my bedroom is not going to be publicized or whatever.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying is that, like, why not? Now, let me just say this, and you can tell me if you agree or not, is that when people did silly things back then towards people who were not like them, whatever it may be, then that was wrong and hateful behavior, right? But that still doesn't give an excuse to now the victimizers, quote unquote, to now stand up and say, well, now I'm gonna show to you that we have a voice, and go home, still live your life, still be because now it's like you want revenge. That's what it sounds like. Like, let's get my revenge.
It's not revenge, it's avenge. We are avenging some of our saints and fallen soldiers, like the Marsha P. Johnsons, like Matthew
Fallen
Shepard.
soldiers.
Yes, I mean, Matthew Shepard literally died in 1997 just because he was gay and stuff, gay bash and stuff. There's so many people that still can't freely be themselves publicly because they feel like they're going to be gay bashed. Even though I'm not afraid of anybody in that chat section, I want them to know that, because a lot of them are more zestier than me.
Okay, well, leave the chat. Okay, leave the chat out of it and just talk to me.
I'll say this.
So
you still have to be very bold. I'm still having to be very bold coming into this straight conservative community talking with you as zesty as I am.
How is that bold, though? But see, I think that it's the wrong outlook. It's not bold. You're just being a normal human being talking to me on the phone about things you agree or disagree with. And all this, like...
But I'm standing up as well, because I'm the voice. I'm literally the only singular voice that's even going to say anything to celebrate Pride and the rainbows. And I don't even fully say it fully. I use the word zesty instead of what I really want to say in respect.
Well, I understand the pursuit at why you're doing it, but like it's pointless because, and I say this respectfully, because for me, you don't hear me. I'm not rooting for straight people, and I'm not saying that you should be straight. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to do, at least my intention is to do, is to just talk about the truth and be truthful. And I think that people the problem is that when anybody goes into the public, you should be able to present yourself proper and with manners. And if you come out to the public, gay or straight, half naked, with your stuff showing, and there's kids around, and all this different thing, your grandma's around, and you're conducting yourself indecently, it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from, that's not proper. And what the Pride people do is they overdo it in front of kids, in front of your grandma, and they're so open about it, and they're imposing it on other people, and that's not the right way to go about it. You agree, huh?
I think there's a lot of times when a lot of people go out dressed inappropriately, just like they've just left the club or something at daytime, whether you're gay, straight, or whatever. I see that a lot of times. I know you got to go, so I do have a more serious question sort on this topic.
Yeah.
Do you think a person like me is going to be damned to hell? Do you think God created me to be damned to hell because I'm zesty?
That's a great question. I think that zesty is another identity that's not real. I think gay is another identity that's not real. Straight is another identity that's not real. I think God is gonna judge everybody based on their heart. And I don't know how God would judge you. That's between you and him. And I shouldn't or anybody else should judge you based off of what we think God is gonna how God's gonna judge you or me. So I don't have an answer for that.
Because I'm very much still a Christian and stuff, because
Yeah.
I don't believe that he's going to damn me to hell. I don't believe that God created me for that. There's a lot of people that would argue with me on that, but I also have to still follow Christ and why he put me on this earth. And so
JC,
I thank you.
if I'm being
for
on,
your time.
yeah, if I'm
Yes,
being
sir.
honest, if I'm being honest with you, 100%. When you call in, I see you as, and I'm not just trying to like stroke your ego, nothing like that. When you call in, I just see you as another person calling in. I don't see you as zesty JC. I don't see you as. There's many people who call in disagree. There's many people who call in and agree, and I just see you as everybody else. So you don't have to think that that's the case for me. And if the chat's talking mess, that's what the chat does. So who cares about
I'm
them?
not scared of them. Like I said, lions, them, we don't pretend. The snake pit, they talk, and I'll keep saying that because I'm always going to be bold enough and stronger than any one of them. But no, I know I have my reputation that I created of being an antagonizer for the Bond Network, but I'm also somebody that openly disagrees. That's why I'll super chat Hank or you, and I'll be like, no, you're wrong. You're promoting evil, or you're saying things that are not nice.
Right.
That's not right and stuff. And I don't mind doing that because I like the friendly disagreements. I like to also be corrected myself. Sometimes I might be wrong.
Right. 100%.
So, yeah.
Well, right on, JC.
But, yeah, literally, you called the Pride Month episode. I was like, goodness, the bestiest person that's a part of this community has to call in. Thank you for that.
No problem, JC. And call me again. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. I'm going back to IG. Bye-bye.
All right. Listen. I got no problem with JC, never have. And I wasn't around when JC was causing problems, so I don't have that perception of him. It's a blank slate because I didn't see that. So Hake and the other people have seen a different side of JC that they have reason to, have banned, and that's on, they may be right for it. I don't know, but I have a blank slate with JC, and when he calls in, it's as decent as it can be. So I ain't got no problem with JC. I like JC. Let me move the calls. Let me go to Hector out of New Mexico. Hector, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Joe. How are you?
All is well, Hector.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I had two questions for you. And the first one was, I wanted to get your take. I don't know if Jesse had the experts yet on the show to ask you guys this, but what do you think about Jesse's question? Are women smarter or are men smarter?
I'm still trying to, I guess, have an answer. I just don't really view it in that way. Like, there's men that are smart and there's men that are dumb and there's women that are smart, women that are dumb. I think ultimately, in my opinion, I kind of want to save it till he brings the experts in.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I would say just tune in until he brings the experts in. But I'm still thinking about it, really. But what do you think?
I think the reason why he's asking, or the reason why he chose to ask that question, was not to turn men or women against each other. I noticed that as soon as he started asking that question in the church, everyone was like, the men were like, men are smarter, and women are like, no, the women are smarter. And I just was wondering how many men actually agree, or how many men actually believe that women are smarter, but they were too afraid to say it for fear of getting glassed out.
There's definitely, I'm sure there's definitely some on both sides. And there's definitely some of men trying to, say that, women are dumber or too afraid to say, well, of course, there's always going to be that.
Yeah, for fear of being labeled a simp or something.
Right.
But I believe that men and women, neither of us are smarter than, sure, whatever. There's the guys who are going to come up with their analytics, and research says that men are smart. Well, I don't really care about the research. I'm just saying I'm just saying that I think the reason why Jesse is asking that question is to get people to think about to think on deeper things other than if their posts have gotten enough likes or something. But I think that the reason why you asked that was to get people to realize that men and women were not smarter than either. I think that when we're all in that fallen state, we're all just a bunch of dummies.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. That's a great point. You definitely make a good point. And I'm interested to hear what everybody else is saying and also hear Jesse's answer on it. But Jesse did say he was going to bring the experts in, so I want to save the answer for his show. But that makes a lot of sense. It definitely, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
go ahead. No, I would say last comments before I got to move the calls here.
So I did have a loaded question, and I think I'm not sure. Can you see it on your screen what it was? I don't want to really ask you if you're not comfortable answering it.
About Hassan and his dogs?
Yeah. Do you feel comfortable answering that on the air?
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let's do it. So
just make it quick,
do you think women and dogs are one and the same?
That comment. Oh, yeah, I don't mind answering because he did Hassan. Hassan was going crazy. I think women and dogs are one and the same? Nah. I mean, I think all human beings are, when we get caught up in the emotional aspect of life and we identify with it and we just do whatever we want and without awareness and we get lost in that kind of stuff, we can become animalistic. But even then, I think that we're always gonna have, as a human beings, authority over animals. So I don't think that women are. I think he doesn't really believe that either, in my opinion. I don't know. But I think he was just making a point that, answering the biblical question. But I don't think that women are the same as dogs.
Okay, because I personally think the reason why he said that was to get at that you have to continuously tend to women and dogs, otherwise women will lose interest eventually, and dogs won't get their attention that they need. But that's as far as I'm going to take that, though. Well,
and one last thing I'll say is that if you have to tend to a woman constantly, I don't know if you want to have her around, because you shouldn't have to tend to it. You want a lady to be smart enough to be able to handle herself, for one, but also come to you as guidance, but not like to be tended to as if she's like a toddler. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think women are like that. And if she is, that just sounds like an immature woman who don't know herself. So, yeah, I don't know if it should be that dynamic either. But I appreciate it, Hector. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, actually, I like that, because a lot of women try to claim that they're high maintenance and they need attention constantly. So
no, yeah, and that's not true either. So appreciate it, Hector. Thanks. Running out of time here. I just got to hurry up, but call me again.
Oh, thanks, Terrell.
All right. Let me go to Jeff out of Louisiana. Jeff, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How's it going, man?
All is well, Jeff.
Man, I think you called from one quick comment. I think he called from Arkansas, JC. I think it's someone called in on
Yep.
our super chat at Hake and said that me, Mark, and everybody else is white in the circle are horrible callers. But I just want to say it real quick. But on a comment, on a question that caller says, women are smart, because tell me how many men are sitting at home collecting alimony, getting paid big money by the million husband not working.
That's a fair point.
I mean, that's just women are more devious. I mean, the reason I called in, I was going to tell you. Did you see that Boston coach of the Boston Celtics this weekend?
No, I missed it. I missed the game too. I seen game one though.
No, well, they asked him a question after, the Jason Kidd, Dallas is black, and the Boston Celtics coach is black. After the game, they asked the Boston coach, like they always do. I mean, he always does. They asked him, said, "Well, it's been so many years since the NBA's had two black coaches in the finals. What do you think of that?" He looked there and said, "How many of them were Christian?" And the room went silent.
Wow.
There was silence. That was in the conference right there, press conference. He said, "How many of them were Christian?"
And who said this? What coach said this?
The Boston Celtics coach said that.
Wow, nice. What's his name? Oh, I don't know. I guess you could say his name.
It's Joe something. It's a screwed up sounding name, but he just sat there and said, "How many of them were Christian?"
Interesting.
It was crickets in the room, man. Nobody answered. Just crickets in the room.
I love that though. I love the fact that he didn't make it about race, but like, okay,
he ain't buying in all that crap.
That's interesting. Interesting.
That was that. I tell you what, just pull up on YouTube and watch that. That's the best.
Okay.
That's the best press conference coach I've seen. He's asking questions they didn't want to answer because they want to. Because when they ask them questions, they got a ton of them loaded up for a desk.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as he answers, they got more questions. Well, he asked that question, just silence. Nobody spoke.
That's crazy. Isn't that crazy though, Jeff? That when you say something about the real stuff, the real deal, people just go blank and they don't know what to say.
Yeah, they're looking. And then what's funny is the same reporter that asked him that wrote an article a day after that said that he asked him a question about, I can't remember the exact title of the article, but it's like, I asked the boss coach doesn't want to speak on racial issues. And it's like awkward or something like that. There's some bull crap just getting clicks. It's just he didn't want to talk on that. He wants to talk the job he's doing.
Right. The real stuff, right. He wanted to get into the real things. So
he's just about the job he's doing. It's just, that's the second interview I've seen in the past year that they asked Ty Bowles. I don't like Ty Bowles, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their division opponent. I asked him last year, well, you and so-and-so are black coaches. Like, man, I don't see black coaches. I see people trying to do a job.
Exactly. That's a good point, Jeff, because I remember I was telling Jesse, I think it was on the show, I was telling him back when I was younger and I would watch movies, all my favorite movies that I would watch, I never looked at the actors as, oh, I want to be like that because he's a white man or a black man. I just enjoyed the talent, the gift, the story that was being told. It wasn't about the color or who was more represented. It was just a movie.
That's the thing is, man. But they're taking these men that had, a man that made career, worked their butts off, made careers for themselves. They're saying, and basically all they're saying when they ask that question is, we didn't get this job because you've done good. You put in your time, you done your work, everything else. You got this job because you're black. What do you think about that?
Right.
It's basically what they're asking.
It's insane, and I wouldn't even feel comfortable. I wouldn't even want the job if I got it because of my color. You know what I mean? It wouldn't feel like I should be in the position just because I'm black. I got the job. It makes
but that's what they're asking these coaches basically. I mean, they're not coming out saying that's what we're saying to them.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if I was to call you and say, well, I seen Jesse Howard's like white guys. How you like had a job with him?
Say that last part again. Say it again. I didn't hear.
I mean, it'd be like me calling you and say, "Hey, well, Joe, I seen you got a job. I know Jesse Howard's like white guys. How do you feel having a job for him?"
Right. Exactly.
I mean, it's just like stupid. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, I have a resume. I've done my work.
Exactly.
I'm 50 years old. No, I'm not. I'm saying some of these coaches.
Yeah.
I'm 50 years old. I put in 30 years. I don't think I deserve a job. So I was being black, but it's just I want to throw a comment out there because I thought that was the best comment I've seen.
Yeah.
A coach in a long time because he just shut them up. He just how many more Christians?
I had to check that out, and maybe if it makes sense, maybe one of us will play it on the show. But I appreciate that, Jeff, for that tip. I'll check it out. It makes sense.
Okay, man. Have a good one, man.
Thank you, Jeff. You as well. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, it's just crazy. It's like absolutely insane. And what's even more insane is the denial. You know what I mean? The denial about it is even more insane. You know what I mean? Like, it's really a crazy time to be alive. Like, really. Like, it's really interesting waking up and seeing these things because there's something that's in you, like, in me that wants to, like, that sees it with the light of, like, God has shone the light on it and he's allowed me to see it. But there's the other side of me, the flesh, right? The ego that wants to overreact to it, right? So there's a spiritual battle always going on within, but I'm so grateful that I see it, but it's crazy. But I'm grateful that I see it, but it's crazy. So, yeah. And what she say? How does it feel to be two black men in the league? What? How does it feel to be a reporter that's talking about nothing? It's just insane. But super chats. Moon Cricket Stinks says, why do Christian conservatives defend simp behavior? Because it's got to be in you, in my opinion, right? To defend, right? They believe that is true, or they have an agenda, right? They have an agenda of like purposely being a snake, or they just believe they also see that themselves. They see that to be true. And like I said, Christian conservatives, they live by false rules. False rules that keep them in bondage and keep them from being strong and tough like Christians are meant to be. And keep them afraid and weak and not pushing the boundary like we see in people like Trump or Jesse Lee Peterson or like even the El Salvador president. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to, wear the muscle. That's what the Christian conservative missing, the muscle. Because the Democrats, they ain't got, I was supposed to use sides. But people who can't see YouTube is that they ain't got no muscle, but they're slick and sly and they know the tricks. They know how to trick you. Mental games, mind games, right? But Christians are supposed to have the wisdom, but the muscle as well. We got God. What the? Anyway. Where's David? I'm going to bring David on as a guest. David and Goliath. I'm going to bring David on as a guest. And see what David been up to. Now the victim says, I appreciate it, Moon Cricket Stinks. Thank you. Now the victim says, buying stocks, Joel. Blank is low, says Carter. I can't promote what that is because I don't know what it is. But no. No, I haven't got around to the stock stuff or the crypto thing. It hasn't hit my my rate. It's not on my radar right now, so. But you never know. Anyway. Oh shoot. I'm way out of time. Dang. I think I got to everything. Rick and the others on the line. I'm just so out of time. Call me tomorrow a little bit earlier so I can get to you. American Anchor Baby's coming in right now. You guys don't want to miss this show. American Anchor Baby coming up right now next. Joel Friday TV across the board. Y'all tell your peoples about the show. Tell them about it. Brag on your boy. Brag on me. And share, like, comment so the algorithms can do the thing so we can make it happen. And if I'm going, chat going with me. Lions Den and a snake pit. We going. So let's go, y'all. Spread the word. All right, guys, I got to go. Until next time. Bye.